AITA for not wanting to lend my friend money for concert tickets because they never pay me back on time. First, a little backstory. My friend, let's call her Sarah, and I have known each other for years. We met in college and have remained close ever since. Sarah has always been a bit of a free spirit, never one to worry too much about money or deadlines. On the other hand, I've always been very financially responsible, budgeting carefully and paying my bills on time. Over the years, Sarah has borrowed money from me a few times. At first, it was just a few dollars here and there, and she always paid me back eventually. But then she started borrowing larger amounts, sometimes hundreds of dollars at a time. And her repayment schedule became less reliable. There were times when she would promise to pay me back by a certain date and then miss that deadline, leaving me scrambling to cover my own bills. Despite this, I never wanted to cause any conflict between us. So I always tried to be understanding and patient. I would gently remind her about the money and ask when she thought she could pay me back. But I never wanted to push too hard. After all, she was my friend, and I didn't want to damage our relationship over money. Fast forward to the present day. Sarah recently asked me if I would be interested in going to a concert with her. The tickets were pretty pricey, but I was excited about the idea of seeing the band live. So I told her I was interested. But then she dropped the bombshell, she didn't have the money to buy the tickets yet. And she was hoping I would lend her the cash. Normally, I might have been okay with this. After all, we've been friends for a long time, and I know Sarah isn't trying to take advantage of me. But the truth is, I'm feeling burnt out on lending her money. I don't want to keep putting myself in a position where I have to chase her down for repayment. Or worse, dip into my own savings to cover the debt. So I told her that I wasn't comfortable lending her the money for the tickets. I explained that I was starting to feel resentful about the loans I had already given her. And I didn't want to add to that resentment by taking on another debt. I told her that if she could come up with the money herself, I would still be happy to go to the concert with her. But I just couldn't lend her any more money right now. Sarah was clearly hurt by this. She accused me of not being a true friend, of being selfish and stingy. She reminded me of all the times she had helped me out in the past, and how I was being ungrateful by not returning the favor. I felt terrible. Was I really being selfish? Was I letting my own resentment get in the way of being a good friend? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I wasn't in the wrong here. Yes, Sarah had helped me out in the past. But those were small favors that I had always repaid promptly. This was a much larger sum of money. And I wasn't confident that she would be able to pay me back on time. Unfortunately, this incident marked the beginning of the end for our friendship. Sarah became distant and cold towards me, and our conversations became strained and awkward. I could tell that she was still angry with me for not lending her the money. And I could also sense that she was struggling with her own financial situation. I tried to reach out to her and talk things through, but she was unwilling to listen. She accused me of being selfish and judgmental, and said that I didn't understand the pressures she was facing. I tried to be patient and understanding, but it felt like we were drifting further and further apart. Eventually, our friendship just fizzled out. We stopped talking altogether, and I heard through mutual friends that Sarah had moved on and found new social circles. It was a painful realization. But I knew deep down that our values and priorities were just too different to sustain a meaningful friendship. Looking back on the whole situation, I wonder if there was anything I could have done differently. Maybe I could have been more understanding of Sarah's financial struggles. Or maybe I could have been more assertive about setting boundaries around lending money. But ultimately, I don't think I was the asshole in this situation. I did what I felt was right for my own financial well-being. And while it may have caused some temporary discomfort in our friendship, I don't think it was worth sacrificing my own financial stability for the sake of a few concert tickets.